Hello, my beautiful Librans. Welcome on into a random next 48-hour tarot reading for you. Just remember to take what resonates and leave what doesn't behind because, of course, we are, tuning into some general energies. But beginning with the Tarot of Dreams, I believe it is, let's just jump right into it and grab an overall energy. You're a bit spacey at this time for one, if not multiple reasons, but the Six of Coins to center out your reading gives us the message that it's about to be a very abundant period for you. You're about to feel like it's time to reap the rewards of your past efforts and your current day efforts. And you're going to as well feel like people are curious as to what has changed with you. But then there's something about your voice coming into play differently. You start to be able to tune into your spirituality in ways that have been feeling tricky, difficult, or impossible. But I feel like the energy at times is just too off for you, and it may remind you of a change that you want for the future, or for some, maybe it's kind of pushing you towards that more so. But I really want you to remember that when you're meant to get something done, Libra, you simply will. Keywording, simply. And so now we have our Libran energy on the board being justice. And I feel you are gaining justice for certain wrongdoings. And I feel they could have been similar kind of wrongdoings, And for those who have been putting effort into something for years now, years is what I'm getting. For some of you, 5, 6, 7 years, maybe a decade at most. Now you start to reap the rewards with the Six of Pentacles and the Justice card once again for all of those efforts. And it feels like now the scales are more so balancing out in your Libran favor, where you get to really see things work out for you, And it's to say that you've been maybe watering one area of your life or a couple of different areas for way too long, too much so to the point where, again, maybe you haven't been receiving all of the rewards and accolades that you deserve, but there are certain areas of your life that I feel this collective has been neglecting or not watering enough. And so it becomes a period where you now get to balance things out for yourself a bit more while trusting in the fact that in letting these rewards and efforts churning into results, allowing for this to remind you that you can pace yourself, you can, take care of other matters, other factors of your life without something just falling flat or not growing or just, you know what I'm saying, or even rewinding. But we also have the Hermit card over here on the right because you're in sort of a solo dolo kind of energy. But I also want to say that this Libran collective is feeling more leader-like. And as my voice struggles a bit, it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna, utilize my Libran voice. It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna help other people. It means that I'm going to embrace the struggles or just do away with it somehow and then shift on forward and get my voice out there. And I feel people at this time are more than ever trusting you, Libra, regardless of whether excuse me, regardless of whether you stumble or your voice struggles somehow, or you get a bit nervous or things negatively affect you otherwise. People are respecting you more, people are trusting you more, and people are following your lead. But then there's something about you being more of a leader for yourself, in your own life. And what does that involve for you individually? For some of you, it's about making better choices when it comes to your health, being your wealth at the end of the day. And then for some of you, it's about choosing to do away with associating yourself with energies that typically leave you off or negative or feeling a sense of questioning coming to be. Do you know what I'm saying? And so regardless of whether those two examples feel applicable for you or come to be, it's just about you being more of the leader that we all need, while first and foremost being the leader that you need for your own individual world, your own individual path. But I'm seeing something about the universe working more in your favor. And I'm seeing some of you as well feeling more spiritual, but less heavy because of it, all right, or maybe less messed with. But let's pull a couple more. The number 5 is coming to mind, and you may see repeating 5s as well as repeating 3s. And then the number 444, as I shake the camera a bit. And they're saying with the number 444, you're protected in the midst of what feels like a period of shaking things up a bit. You know, I see a lot of you experiencing stale energy, again, plateauing, stagnancy, things just feeling blah, off. I knew this was going to come up in a reading. Wow. Excuse me. I just got a vision of, a light switch, and it's been in the off position, right? Even if the lights have been on, in a sense. And now we get to experience energetically in the assistance from spirit, to help us turn that switch on. And now you feel on, right? You don't feel off anymore. Things feel more productive, but lighter. Things feel like they're on the up and up, and it's as if your health now even is on the rise. And so as you feel more capable and able to take care of business and clean things up, improve your life, you feel like you can actually succeed in the ways that you're meant to. And now is the time when a lot of these Librans within this collective get to fulfill their destiny, or at least get closer to doing so. And some of you, I honestly feel that you are, even in your later stages of life, are discovering what your destiny actually is, right? And let's be real, your destiny can change over time. But let's pull a couple more. What else do we have for Libra? There's also, I'm being drawn to a turtle. There's a reminder that slow and steady wins the race. You know, you don't have to accomplish it all in order to get to where you're meant to be, or to get something to where it's meant to be. And I'm also feeling like you're less focused on your money. And regardless of whether, you've been stressed about money or ultra focused on it recently, it just feels like there's other important matters at hand, say helping people, helping yourself once again, being that leader, and reaping other forms of abundance. And the money will follow, But let's see what else we get. Wow, the struggle is real. The 7 of Cups and the 4 of Swords. And so again, we're being reminded multiple times that you are protected, Libra. You literally don't need to stress it, because if you do, you're honestly going to repeat the past. I'm getting that specifically. And you can see we have the number 77 on the board, and then they're now giving me the number 776. But the 7 of Cups says, as I need to slow it down a bit, you have a lot going on, right? And when one soul has this much on their plate, when one soul feels like the weight of the world is at times, or in general, on their shoulders, or maybe on your head, it can weigh heavy on you, it can take a toll. And so now it becomes a period where you get to lightly achieve what you're meant to, and even want to, and you feel better about the direction in which things are heading. But you're also going to better understand yourself after this 2-day period, to the point where people start to want to better understand you. And it's not necessarily their place to get to understand you, or want to. But either way, there's something satisfying about people being curious about you, kind of wanting to tune in and fill in a few blanks about your individual recent path. But you're also going to be gaining clarity, Libra, in regards to what your near future entails. It's to say that you're more curious about, the far out future, very 3 of Wands kind of energy. But then they're saying the near horizon is where the magic lies for you, Libra, while that will support more than ever what you're thinking about and have been thinking about, maybe too much, for the far out future. But I feel like this Libran collective likes the finer things in life, and that might be because you have Taurus in your chart, but it could be because you're a Libra. And so that starts to take a focus, because I feel a lot of you need to and want to be so successful in this life, including financially, to the point where you can just I'm hearing without looking at a price tag, achieve and receive, purchase exactly what you want, what you deserve, plus some. And I feel even when this Libran collective makes it big in the future, because I'm getting very, very specifically that you're meant to make it big in this lifetime, including money wise. But when the time comes for this to take place for you, I feel you'll even treat other people quite often. It's to say that you are such a giving soul that when you're put in a place where the abundance is unlimited, it's just, flowing in tenfold. You then help other people, you treat other people, while of course treating yourself. You effing deserve it. But it ends up being a period where you're reminded there's luxury ahead for a lot of you. There's lucrative ideas that turn into more and more abundance, including money once again. And you're going to feel like there's a time and a place for everything, right? And then you're going to as well feel guided to randomly leave a situation as well as head to somewhere specific. And then there's more than one reasoning to that, of course, but there's purpose and benefits along the way. And so when you feel like you are walking more than ever an extremely spiritual and purposeful path, it's because you are. But look at this. I feel like there's something about an emotionally secure, loving family being super important to you. And there's certain eggs that I feel you're about to see hatching for you. Things that have been in the works due to the spiritual realm. Let's get one or two to wrap up this reading. Success assured with good plans and hard work. Why don't we just leave it at that? So I hope this reading was truly helpful, Libra. Love and light.